About 5 years ago, I decided I really needed to buckle down and make some money. To do this, I was going to start an advertising agency. You see, in the past, I had directed and produced commercials and films, so it seemed like a natural progression for me to take. Honestly, I wasn't looking forward to my new business venture. I wasn't really that passionate about advertising. And maybe you guys find yourself in a similar position where you have the business model that you know is going to make you money, but you're just not that motivated to lock in and do the work that you need to do. I needed to do a lot of outreach, cold emailing especially. I also needed to work on videos, but I was dreading doing any work. I just had no motivation to do it and I felt stuck. I struggled with this lack of motivation day after day, month after month, until something broke. Of course, I could have kept pushing myself, but I realized that there was something wrong. I didn't want to have a lifestyle where I constantly needed to keep pushing myself to do something I didn't want to do. So I felt like I had to figure this out. The only things I did were go on long walks where I thought about my life and what I wanted out of my life. And also, I would journal, write down the same type of ideas. I did this for a couple weeks, but then something happened. I began to get more energy. I think that the mental burden that I put on myself, all of these ideas of what I thought my life should be and how I should act, all of that was just released when I stopped doing everything. And I got this surge of motivation and energy. It's just that I didn't know how to direct it. Before I get into any specifics, this is something to think about. Maybe you're not motivated for one of two reasons. One, you don't actually like the thing that you're doing. It's pretty simple. Two, maybe your angle of approach isn't exactly right for the endeavor that you chose. If you know this is not the case for you, then this video isn't for you. You can turn it off. But if you do relate to this, then I'm going to get into some specifics about how you can do what I did and get unstuck in a matter of a couple of weeks. This has actually been tested at another place. There's a school, a private school in Britain called Somerville, and they used pretty much this exact method that I will tell you about now. I don't want to get into too much detail about them. I'll leave a link in the description for a mini doc, but essentially this is what they did. So I'm not saying this private school or their method is 100% the greatest thing ever, but this one thing that they do seems very effective. So troubled kids go to this private school. They don't make them do anything at first. They don't make them go to class. They don't make them go to sleep at a certain time. They can just wander around the city if they want to. And they oftentimes do this, but it only lasts for a couple weeks. 100% of the time, after a couple of weeks, the kids start getting interested in something, whether it's art or photography, film, writing, or even just going to classes. The one thing that they do restrict, though, is that they don't have a bunch of overstimulating activities like video games or scrolling on your phone. So boredom is a lot of what motivates them to actually start getting interested in what they naturally are interested in. So this is essentially the same method I used to get unstuck. I removed all the obligations I put on myself and then other people put on me, and I got some clarity after doing this. If you have a job that you have to go to, you can still apply these principles to the life you're working towards outside of your job. Okay, so the first thing is just stop what you're doing. If you're on like a work schedule, if you're working towards something to complete some project, just stop it for now. There's a reason why you feel stuck and you got to get out of it. The next thing is you have to limit overly stimulating activity. You can't just all day long play video games, essentially, or even scroll on your phone or do whatever. You need to limit these. And I didn't completely eliminate them, but I've always just kind of put a cap on how much I do these activities in general. So this is something to keep in mind as well. Every day you need time to reflect. I went on walks and that works really well for me. And I would recommend doing this, but you can go on drives, go on a train, go in nature in some other way. There are a lot of different ways to have this time where you can just think, reflect yourself, think about the life that you want and the life that you're currently living. This part isn't 100% necessary, but I did it. If you believe in a higher power, that there's more to the world that we realize, if you're religious, then it's helpful to ask for help, ask for guidance. I did. It couldn't hurt. Write down all the negative stuff happening in your head. Write down all of the stuck feelings you have. Write down why your life sucks right now. And also write what type of life you do want to live. Try and brainstorm about different angles, different areas that you're interested in. Just basically write about why your life isn't going so well and where you want your life to go. And it doesn't have to take that long. It could take, 15 minutes every day, but it's important just to get all of this down on paper. Now that you've unburdened yourself, you're going to get some type of insight. You're going to get some idea of the area you should go in or what you've been doing wrong, the tweaks you need to make. So this is the time to start working again. But don't just go headfirst into it and start trying to work like 16-hour days. Start small. Look at it like play. Start doing the things that you're actually interested in and start really small. I started with 5 minutes every day where I had to just do something, work on my projects or whatever it was just for a little bit. Start with 5 minutes, scale up, and eventually you can do as much as you want. This was a key mindset shift that helped me a lot too, is that I stopped worrying about how many hours I worked in the day and I started focusing on what I needed to accomplish. If you have clarity, if you know exactly what you need to accomplish each day to meet your long-term goals, then you can just finish those. And if it takes you an hour, then that's fine. You're done. You shouldn't be regretting not working 24/7. No one can, and it's counterproductive. So this is really simple advice, but it's what I actually did to get unstuck, and it's what you probably need to do too. Sometimes dropping everything is the hardest thing to do, and you need someone to give you the license to do it. So just try it. If you're really feeling stuck, just reset, start over, and see what happens. If you are starting a new journey, a new area of focus, just remember the beginning is never easy. Just prepare yourself that it's going to be a little bit rough and it's fine. There's no pressure. Just keep building, keep working. I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.